Hello, everyone. My name is Andreas Diaz. Welcome to the episode 7 Marvel Plus Spoiler Talk of WandaVision. And today's episode we're talking about is Break the Fourth Wall. And here today I'm with my co host, Will. Hello.
Hey, Andres.
So, Will, 2 more episodes.
Yeah. Oh man. It's
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. We're almost done. But I mean, 2 more episodes. Of course, we have confirmed, or like I say, like the news has confirmed that like the season finale will be 3 hours. They say.
I haven't seen that. I doubt it's
Oh,
it's not going to be 3 hours.
oh, oh, no! They confirmed that. They confirmed that. I mean, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so well, overall thoughts on this episode of WandaVision.
Yeah, I really loved the like sitcom parody. I think Elizabeth Olsen's performance this episode was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just like a great impersonation of Julie Bowen from Modern Family. Um, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. This episode, not my favorite of
Mhm.
the bunch we had, but it confirmed longer, like a long-term rumor that or speculation that we had with a certain character, and um, in, I mean, there was like 2 big surprises we had this episode that was like, um, kind of like I wasn't expecting that, particularly Monica getting her powers, and or I mean, was the little, I mean, Anthix being Anthix, we kind of knew that was coming, but we'll discuss all that. But yeah, it was a good episode. I mean, there's funny moments. I do appreciate the what is it, the office format in this episode. I just
Right.
love Vision was like talking to, talking straight at the camera, and then he
Mhm.
realized what I'm doing here.
Yeah,
I
that
should
was
be
good.
leave. That was a good one. So there were moments I like it. It was pretty cool. But yeah, so it's not my favorite of the bunch, but we'll discuss that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, I okay. So I don't know you had this, but were you disappointed about the reveal about the Aerosmith engineer and like Monica's
Yeah.
contact,
It was
like,
just like a random person we'd never met before. Yeah.
yeah, uh
Um,
I was crushed. I was I mean, last you remember last episode we were talking, we were expecting
yeah.
it could be either Scrolls or Reed Richards or the speculation that we didn't bring up, like a lot of people thought it was maybe Blue Marvel, another Marvel character that dated Monica. So a lot of people were expecting about that, but still, it was like, okay, it was just this person from Sword that were loyal to Monica's mom, and so yeah, uh, I mean, still, I'm happy that Jimmy Woo is still the best character. I love him in this episode,
Yeah, it was
and
good.
let's kind of start the. I think for me, the MVP of this, besides Catherine as Agnes, is Monica. Uh, I think this was her best performance of this episode as well, just with Elizabeth Olsen. Um, I mean, I was just shocked that we got her powers in this episode.
Yeah, me
You know
too.
what? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing. I do. I don't know. I want to talk about her getting her powers
Oh,
later. I
really?
think. Yeah.
Well, let's get to that now,
Okay. Yeah.
because
Um, so to get her powers, all she had to do was cross the barrier
mhm,
twice.
yes, yeah.
That seems too easy.
Too easy? Oh,
But
okay.
like a bunch of people are already inside the barrier. So like
Mm.
theoretically.
Well, theoretically,
like
all of
everyone
them.
could get her powers
Right,
if they
right.
just left the barrier and went back in.
Well, I. Oh
Which
man.
like I could see if they wanted to like introduce mutants, they could like
Right,
have the barrier collapse and then expand and like hit the entire like universe.
right.
But I don't know, it just seems like they wanted to give her powers, so they
Yeah.
just like wrote something in.
Let's see. Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I kind of like that because it's a very comic book thing,
Yeah.
and and like it's not like a Infinity Stone related thing, which like Captain Marvel did that.
Yeah.
And Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver powers in the MCU were from that, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
very happy we got that kind of traditional way of getting powers. I mean, also we don't. Um, I just want to. We really don't know how. Like you have to remember that Darcy mentioned in the prior episode that I mean I maybe I'm like rephrasing it, but like she said her monocle level were changing, and she went through there like twice. Or I mean,
No, she said
it-
the barrier had like changed the molecules in her cells, and she didn't know what would happen if she went through again.
yes, that's true. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but that could happen to literally anybody.
That's true. But a lot of them were in Westwood, and um, that's why I want to talk to you now because we now have the confirmation of Agnes being in the show. Archivist Agnes.
Agatha, yeah.
You know, and of course Monica was outside of that, so her entering it was like the way the people are in Westwood are different from what Monica did because she was outside and she entered in, which
Could be.
caused change of her her
Yeah,
mind.
but then like all of the sword agents and scientists that were
Oh, yeah.
taken in like at the end of episode 6,
Mm.
like if they were somehow to get out and then go back in, they would also get powers.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I I mean I need to see like what's the end game of
Yeah, we'll see.
Anthrax
We'll see what else they
because
do with it. But it
the
just felt a little convenient, like a
yeah,
shortcut to getting Monica her powers.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, I agree that part with you, Will. I mean, we know she's coming back for Captain Marvel 2. That's like next year, right? In 2022. And
Yeah.
so this is the best option they have. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Uh, but I mean, we, I mean, it could be a twist that, Anthrax had her in the field before, and then, and she was testing Monica before Wanda. So that could be a twist, but I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
it's. I'll save my judgment on it until the series is over, I guess. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So it was cool. I love her. Was it like her? I mean, when she was trying to attempt to go into the field with that, the what was it like Volver that they built in
Yeah.
Sword?
Yeah.
Her spacesuit reminded me of a Fantastic Four, like
Hmm.
a spacesuit. When they go to outer space. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Either the Fantastic Four being Sword, and that's how they be integers in MCU. But yeah, and then when she entered the dorm, we hear a little bit of her mom, and then Captain Marvel, and then Nick Fury from the
Hmm.
first film.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then when she take off the suit, you see kind of like a little bit of her costume she wears in the comic books.
Hmm.
Of course, it's like a sword underneath kind of clothing. Yeah. So far, she's good. She's great. And but let's get into Scarlet Witch and Vision. And let's say this episode was was really funny, and how they
Hmm.
dealt with depression, and like how not funny how they handled depression, but like it was very interesting
The
how they handled depression in the MCU, and like it was really good way to communicate the audience in a visual way, and yeah, this is where I really like uh, Olsen's performance here, and especially when she had her talk with the twins, and,
Yeah,
and and their reaction was like, "What are you talking about?"
yeah,
um, yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, and I appreciate the whole like Office, homage of it, and
yeah.
um, cool way. What do you think about the opening of the, like the Office
Oh, the
WandaVision?
credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it was inspired by. Did you ever see Happy Endings? It's a
Oh,
sitcom like
no,
10 years
no.
ago.
I heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
So
it's
okay.
yeah, I really like that show. And the opening like credit sequence is basically what they did for this, where it's like they had the word happy, and then they would just have the word
Mm,
happy showing up in like different places, like street signs and cakes, and
yes.
uh, yeah. So
Yeah, and
it
then
looked like it was referencing that. The theme song sounded like The Office, and then the
yeah,
final like font looked like Modern Family. So
of course, of course.
it's,
Which is cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was pretty good. Well, it was cool. I don't know if you noticed this, but there was like a secret messages in one of those like
Oh yeah,
packets in the freezers.
yeah.
Like,
The one with like the cutout magazine letters.
yeah, they say, "I know what you're doing," Wanda, which is
Yeah,
kind of cool.
that was cool.
Um, yeah, so that was cool. And then and of course, um, during this time, like we don't see Quicksilver in this episode. It was like very interesting seeing,
Until the end. Yeah.
yeah, well, confirming he's like an astral protection, really, like,
No, we don't know
or
what
I
he is
mean,
yet.
yeah, I mean, I just want to keep in mind that he's not real. So
Yeah, he's
it
not
was
actually Pietro.
exactly. So, um, yeah, what else? I mean, it, this episode really shows like the downfall of Wanda, right? Like the fact that she's losing a grip of her reality. Like it was really cool to see like the furniture and like the cereal, the running
Hmm.
gag, her like changing to different eras of these products.
Yeah, she's losing control.
Yeah, and it was really cool to see that.
Yeah,
Um, it was funny how to see the kids and their, what was it, the
the
controllers
the
changing,
Wii controllers. Yeah,
yeah, changing into the various game controllers from the different decades. That was really cool. And then we'll turn into um oh, by the way, and we have a commercial here. The Nexon, uh,
the Nexus.
yeah, Nexus one, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Like feeling your feelings, confronting your truth, seizing your destiny, and
hmm.
possibly more depression. Wow. That's the most darkest uh I think commercial we have so far. And
Maybe.
that was it.
The Yo Magic one from last week was pretty dark.
Oh yeah, that one was pretty good. Yeah. I just love we're going into this RoboCop territory of
uh,
satirical satire,
hmm.
which is cool. Um and apparently this was introduced in the Thor the Dark World, apparently. Uh, which is weird.
What
Um
was?
yeah, I am. Like it's been a while since Thor the Dark World. But yeah,
No, but what was introduced in Thor: The Dark World?
oh, this drug that
Oh,
this commercial.
Nexus.
Yeah, it was like subtly introduction in the MCU multiverse in Thor: The Dark World,
Yeah,
and
well, there's
I'm
like the nexus of all realities.
okay, okay, yes,
Um, and then I think Scarlet Witch is like the nexus being for Earth 616.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's I don't know enough about the comic origins of that, but the word nexus is like important for Scarlet Witch's lore.
yeah, and I in the comics it's like created by a ill through spell, Riven in Florida, and then it's being guarded by the Man Thing. Marvel is like
Okay.
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Okay, and then we go into Vision, and Vision is pretty much like survive, and then he meets the people that were affected by the hex, and then
Mm-hmm.
he sees Darcy, and then he wakes her up, and he pretty much gets cut up with what was going on, and like he die and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
I really like uh I think the part with Vision I enjoyed the most. It just pulp and it just hit it so good with the comedic timing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I especially then trying to run away from the what's it
The
this
strong man.
yeah the strongman slash sword agent we've seen,
Yeah.
and it was funny like I cannot hear you. I just laugh
I,
allow Vision just repeatedly say I cannot hear you. It's too funny.
well, my favorite joke was when he was distracting Darcy so he could like wake her up. He pointed to a mime who was like pretending to be holding something heavy, and
Oh
he was like,
yes.
"Look, the mime is like lifting more than he can carry." And then Darcy went, "Oh no, your bad back!" Like he was actually carrying something.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my god, that was a good one. Yeah, I love that one. Oh my god, there were so many funny jokes they put in that one scene. It's just so hilarious. But yeah, yeah, then and then the running gag of them trying to get to uh the Vision's house, and
Mm-hmm.
like they constantly get stopped by these weird like convenient stop
Uh-huh.
moments, like a bunch of kid like first you got construction workers, and then all of a sudden kids were walking past the road, and it's like it was just too funny. I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was another gag I liked. um yeah, so so what else we need to bring up? So we mentioned Vision. Was there anything particular with Vision and Darcy's conversation you want to bring up?
Um, I don't know. They had good chemistry, which was interesting.
Yeah,
Like
that's
good,
very
like
true.
comedic chemistry.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the show just handled Darcy much better than the
Yes,
Thor movies.
I agree.
Yeah. So and uh, of course we got uh WandaVision, like her saying the title, and it was like it was kind of cool. Like it didn't feel weird at the time. Now
Mm-hmm.
just saying WandaVision, it was kind of cool to her saying the show's name and stuff like that.
Right.
Um. Okay, so we got that. Um, I guess you want to get to activists now. Kind of discuss
Sure.
about.
Yeah.
So okay, so I mean, by the way, before we get into that conversation, very cool reference of like, I don't know, you noticed the cereal that Wanda was eating. It was called Sugar Snaps.
Oh, I
So
didn't.
so I love how they reference Thanos.
Uh-huh.
And if you guys know, that's how he wrapped up the whole universe by snapping his fingers. So that's very cool, and I kind of like that. Anyway, all right, let's get into the big twist and the big reveal we had this episode. And I mean, it was kind of obvious, right? We were
Yeah.
expecting for the
Yeah.
last how many episodes? 6 episodes about this character,
Yeah.
and
Comic book fans have been speculating that the whole time, but
exactly. And so we got confirmed that Actus was Arthur Hackness from the comic books, and I like the buildup of it, and I just like how they made it like such bombastic and like just over the top reveal that that's who she was, and I was just so happy we got confirmed of that, and I like how she's you know I was very happy we got that reveal. So I was
Mhm.
quite concerned if they were not going to pull that, but they did. And then I love her opening, like her like Monchas song they gave her. It was so much like the Monsters slash like Anna's Family theme tune, and
Mm-hmm.
it just fits so well for her character. I'm just and of course Catherine Hannah like this is her like second time like almost like revealed just like her role in Doc Ock in Spyverse
Yep.
and so it's kind of funny and this one was a little more overt than the Doc Ock one. The Doc one was more like a surprise. I was like, oh, a female
Mm-hmm.
Doc Ock. Here it
Yep.
was like we knew like we were speculating. We knew it was her, but we don't know if they were going to go there. And this episode, it confirmed that okay, they're going there. It's just now it's like what's her end game and what she's doing with one.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, well, go ahead, talk about this. What you thought about it, and finally, we got confirmation about this character.
Yeah, I thought the song is catchy.
Oh yeah,
Um, I I noticed there was that like chained up book
yes.
when she was introduced, and I remember chained up books from Doctor Strange. So I wonder if that's connected at all.
I mean, it could be. I mean, I saw in I don't know Twitter that there was like a they were doing like a side comparison
Mm-hmm.
of and there was one shot in Doctor Strange. There was one book missing,
Okay.
and so that could be that. Because and you have to be careful that a lot of people had to realize that the book of something in the first Doctor Strange was taken from Caecilius, Matt
Yeah.
Mrs. character. So I don't want to like I don't want to doubt people's speculation, but that was the book that was missing.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But that
remember
could
that.
be a shot where there was another book missing, and that could be it. And that the sorcerers people doesn't even realize that one of their books were missing. So there could be connection with that.
Yeah.
I mean, this does kind of lead into like maybe Doctor Strange actually can pop up because right,
Yeah.
like
It seems based on like what I've read, it seems like there is another like um, guest actor who's gonna
coming,
be involved in like one of the last two episodes.
yeah,
So there's
and,
some cameo coming.
yeah. Uh, I mean, I don't want to speculate, be disappointment, Um,
Just
but I mean, now we got the confirmation of Affix as the villain of the show. Like,
mhm.
I think her being a villain for Doctor Strange too makes more sense, really,
It's possible.
right? Because I mean, I I feel like it makes the most sense. I mean, and two, it fits into the MCU, and then of course, WandaVision is setting up the multiverse and just in general her character moving forward, and the next thing we're gonna see Elizabeth Olsen is Doctor Strange too.
Hmm.
So this makes kind of sense. Now we don't know how this. I don't know how Actus can survive or not. Like that's we just see how the series the series finale does it, and if she
Yeah,
continues on in the MCU,
yeah.
Um,
I'm reading the synopsis for Doctor Strange 2 right now,
okay,
and it's after the events of Avengers Endgame and WandaVision, Doctor Stephen Strange's continuing research on the Time Stone is hindered by a friend turned enemy, resulting in Strange unleashing unspeakable evil.
mm,
And I think people are assuming that that's Mordo, the
yeah,
friend turned enemy. But what if it's Wanda?
I I could. I mean, that is possible. I just need to see how they take Wanda because
Yeah,
now we got this reveal. It shows that well, it could be possible that that's is her, but then Doctor Strange doesn't know another enemy is behind the this overall plan, and that's
yeah, yeah,
Apex, right? and
Right.
that she's trying to control Wanda.
Right.
That could be a setup that we're not noticing that it is happening now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that happening. So no, that could be true. But also, it could be also be mortal because they did set up that
Yeah.
as the
Yes. At the
teaser in the
end of.
first one,
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. So, and I want that to be pay off.
Yeah. No. I Chiwetel Ejiofor is in Doctor Strange too, so that will come up. I'm
Yeah,
just wondering he's like if he's the villain that they've described already, or if something happens with Wanda.
yeah. Well, and the thing is, um, I know you haven't seen trailers, but the second trailer I seen before the series started, there was a scene of her recreating the uh was it the Mind Stone, uh, or the stone with Vision had in his forehead. I am, oh my god, the Space Stone, or oh my god, no, the Mind Stone. I'm sorry, folks, the Mind Stone that Vision has. She was recreating that, and so it could be her and Marvel forces Wanda to recreate the Time Stone. So that's just a speculation. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. We'll see.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm, I mean, and and let's, and then it was kind of cool if you don't know about this character. I love how she was stroking the bunny, and it could be the cat she usually has.
Mm-hmm.
Should be funny that the cat is disguising her or himself as a bunny to
Mm-hmm.
just be, you know, uh, not like obvious that this is a witch and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I think it's great to see, Catherine be in MCU and playing the villain, and um I think her reveal was handled very well, and uh and there was, and I kind of like I love how the little references they did to like recognize this character, like before she and she was gonna go visit Wanda in the '50s sitcom, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see her a little bit of her purple dress that she usually wear.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get to see more of that
Yeah,
in the last two episodes.
yeah, and I like how her hex powers is also purple,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so it's kind. I like those details of being her very different from with Wanda, and what else? I yeah, I just I really like how they're really bringing that like witch vibe of her, and and you think like her other, like if we're gonna get the Scarlet Witch name from her, or it could be a name that Wanda will probably take from the her like Sokovia heritage, right?
Yeah. I
Because
don't know.
we still need to get her name like Scarlet Witch, and
Yeah. They've said that's gonna happen
yeah,
during the show. So.
yeah. I'm just speculating that either that oh, and also we got I don't know, there's a lot of speculation, like either Clea, another Doctor Strange character.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Emma Clairfield, who plays Dottie in this show, is that person that's going to be
Um.
Clea? Because
I don't know. Did we see her on like the board when they were
no,
figuring out? Okay,
that
it's
was
possible.
I forgot to mention that that's something we didn't get confirmed of, and then we saw a brief shot of her in this episode when Monica faced Wanda outside,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and so Emmy and her hair is white. So
Mm-hmm.
but so I'm just I'm very curious where we're heading at, you know. Um but so anything else we have to mention when we go to the mid credit scene? Because that mid credit scene, I was surprised.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
um let's see. Anything else we had to bring up? Um I think we got everything. Oh, I mean we saw,
uh,
wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
one last thing, we saw like director Hayward, and it was kind of funny. Like I love his line. Oh, I'm I wasn't so happy I'm alive, or like I'm relief I'm alive, or something like that. It was kind of funny
Mm.
when he survived from being getting headed into the the dorm and all that stuff. It was pretty funny. Also, what do you think of what he's going to do with Vision? Like,
I think he wants to turn him into a weapon.
yeah, but like he wants to get him. He needs to get Vision out there. Like, I'm curious how he's going to do that. That's
Yeah, I'm not sure what his plan is.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting in the next two episodes.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So for let's wrap things up, and let's kind of go into the mid credit scene. Uh, this is the first time we have a mid credit scene in a while.
Yeah.
The first one in the show finally.
Yes.
Typical MCU of like what's going on.
Mhm.
I mean, I knew what was going on. I was just towards the end of it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
I was like, and um, okay. So let's kind of set up what was going on. So the mid credit scene, we see Monica. What she did follow Wanda and Agnes to her house, right?
hmm Yep.
And then we see her just snooping around as usual, as any people will do, following to enhance people. Well, one enhance and the other we don't know as enhance.
hmm
She opens, was it the garage or the basement
Yeah,
doors?
the basement doors.
And of course, you see the like the very like witchy, like early kind of cave that you saw when Wanda went downstairs to trying to find the twins, right?
hmm
Also, we also have to bring up the twins because they suddenly disappear. And so Monica gets a surprise visit from Pedro, Quicksilver,
Yeah.
and her eyes then all of a sudden turn into purple, and then bam, blank. Screen goes to blank. What do you think about that?
Were
That
they purple or were they like
they were purple, like
but were they the same color from when she like emerged from the barrier and she had her
no,
superpowers, or were they
no,
like
no, no, no,
Agatha's magic purple?
no. That was Agnes magic. See, so when one so before she entered when she entered into the
The hex.
the hex again, her eyes was blue because apparently I mean in the comics she didn't have blue like energy stuff. That's her gonna be her ancestral color for this MCU, universe, right?
Yeah.
And then, but when Quicksilver all of a sudden appears, her eyes turns to purple. Now, okay, no, I need to rewatch this scene. Let me. I'm pulling on my Disney Plus to see this. What was going on in that scene? Okay, so because like her eyes was purple, so it indicate yes, her eyes were purple.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So, and let me see. Um, so I'm going to see when she enters again to the dorm, the hex, and like she's seeing almost like like, yeah, her eyes were blue when she entered in the hex, and so that's her power set. And when Wanda push her, she, uh, okay, when Wanda was trying to push her back out of the hex, her, Monica pulls herself down and is blue. And I see her right now, and her eyes are blue here. So the mid-credit scene, you see that it indicates that Agnes is controlling now Monica because she already got her right away with Quicksilver. So, and see, and that's what I'm saying as protection of Quicksilver because how like that's not the power of Quicksilver. He's a speedster. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
he must
that's
be
we need to see how
Agatha's
that's go.
henchman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then also we don't know if Agnes can give these characters other abilities, right? Because she can. There's a thing we haven't talked about is Wanda. How does Wanda create this reality? Like how she knows how to change these, like these objects and clothing into different things.
Mm.
That could all explain that Agnes has increased and or has a more enhanced Wanda's abilities into this more omega level, or more efficient um, abilities that she hasn't had before.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably brought Quicksilver back and also enhanced him more with different abilities besides speed abilities, and also probably control him as well as Wanda. So that could be happening. So there's a lot of things going on in that scene. So, but yeah. Whew, okay. There's a lot to talk about this episode, and a lot of emotions for me in this episode. Um, and then also the twins. Now the twins were with uh, Aphix,
Agatha.
right? Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was a very interesting scene. Like, okay, like of course you probably get this in a sitcom or a drama, how the kids feel comfortable with the other person's house because the parents is funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got that scene, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
of course we cut out to another scene, right? But then later when Wanda goes to the house, the kids are not there. They
Yeah.
just they're not there. So now we can start like actually speculating. Do you think they're real or not real? Let's.
I think so. I think I've said this in other episodes,
Mm,
but I think whatever Agatha is doing to Wanda, the purpose is to get the children.
okay.
Because there's been all these like references to the kids, like even before they were born. Like
Yeah.
in episode 2, there was that one moment where everyone in town just like creepily chanted for the children together.
Yes.
Um, Agatha or whoever she's like working for is definitely like after the kids, but needed uh, they needed wanted to make the kids first,
Right.
you know.
To get to
Um,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
but I think the kids are central to the villains' plans.
yeah. And yeah, I mean agree. And this kind of confirms they're real. I mean, I mean, this show can pull like a 180 degree and say, oh no, they're not real. They're just
Mm-hmm.
these projections that want to create it, and then they're just are gonna be real when whatever the main bad guy is gonna be Mephisto or or Darmo yeah Dormammu. I
Mm-hmm.
can't I can't say his name. His name is
Dormammu.
Dormammu. Thank you. Thank you, Will. From Doctor Strange, and either one of those wants to get into the real world because we really don't know if Mephisto or Dormammu can enter into reality. Right?
Right. Yeah.
And that's probably why they need the twins. They need physical body. It's kind of like Ghostbusters too, when like
Mm-hmm.
what's his name? Oh my God,
Uh.
Vigo,
Yeah. Yeah.
the Impaler needed to get to in this like reality, but he couldn't because he didn't have a body, and so he needed Oscar, Sigourney Weaver's character's son in the movie, and he needed like a physical body to inhabit, and so that could be the main plot through. And as you mentioned, Will, for a couple of times, as we've been speculating, the twins are like the mention of the children has been recurring in the series,
Mm-hmm.
and that's been a very significant plot line that
Yeah.
we're getting. So yeah, but yeah, so I think that's it. Anything else we have to mention in this episode that we missed maybe? I I I think we covered everything, right?
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Yeah. Yeah, this episode was it was not my favorite. It was a weird episode. Like it was like a filler episode, but then it was like a major episode. Like it was like it was like all the various things you think of like a sitcom slash show all wrapped into this one episode. And it was uh because at the beginning I was like okay, and then when we got to Monica entering in, and then Anthony starting to really coming front and center, and like the reveal, it just became like now a major uh plot through and moving forward the plot in the next last two episodes, which is
Mhm.
crazy. And so yep. So overall, it was a good episode. I mean, it did a job. I'm very excited for the Point Emido episode. Episode 8.
Mhm.
I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen with Vision, and he's gonna save Wanda. Like what's gonna happen with Monica and Wanda. So I'm really excited for the next episode next Friday. And Will, we need to discuss when we're going to talk about Thor: The Dark World and
Yeah.
get that over with. Um, yeah. So anyway, so thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. Me and Will will be back for another discussion on WandaVision episode 8. I'm very excited, and so everyone hit that subscribe button and have a good weekend.